Welcome to our video. Why do climate activists still fly in private jets? Today, we're diving into a controversial topic that raises questions about the actions and choices of climate advocates. While many activists passionately campaign for environmental sustainability, the use of private jets by some of them sparks a heated debate over hypocrisy and necessity. We'll explore the convenience of air travel, the challenges of reducing carbon footprints, and the ongoing discussions around accountability and green technologies. Join us as we unpack this complex issue and examine the various factors at play in the world of climate activism. 1. Convenience and time saving. In today's fast-paced world, time is of the essence, especially for climate activists who are constantly on the move. Many of these activists use private jets to attend important events quickly and efficiently, particularly when traveling across continents. This mode of transport allows them to bypass the often time-consuming process of commercial flight schedules, security checks, and layovers. For instance, when an activist needs to be present at a climate summit in Europe and then at a protest in North America within the same week, private jets become a practical solution. The ability to travel swiftly ensures that their presence and voice are felt in multiple critical locations. Moreover, in some cases, private jets allow them to carry equipment and materials essential for their advocacy work without the restrictions of commercial airlines. The convenience of private aviation enables them to maximize their impact by being physically present at crucial meetings and discussions. 2. Hypocrisy versus necessity debate. The use of private jets by climate activists has sparked a heated debate, with critics often labeling this behavior as hypocritical. On one hand, these activists are vocal about reducing carbon emissions, yet they employ one of the most carbon-intensive forms of travel. Critics argue that this undermines their credibility and the sincerity of their message. On the other hand, some activists contend that private jet travel is a necessary tool to spread their message effectively on a global scale. They believe that the urgency of the climate crisis justifies the use of any means necessary to get their message across. This necessity, they argue, is greater than the temporary increase in their carbon footprint. The debate continues to be a contentious issue, often overshadowing the message they aim to promote. 3. Carbon footprint of private jets. Private jets are notorious for their substantial carbon footprint, emitting significantly more carbon dioxide per passenger than commercial flights. This fact is undeniable and forms the crux of the criticism against climate activists using such means of travel. A single flight in a private jet can produce as much carbon as a year's worth of driving for an average car owner. This stark contrast highlights the environmental impact of private aviation. While commercial flights distribute emissions across hundreds of passengers, private jets often carry only a handful, leading to disproportionately high emissions per person. The environmental cost of private aviation challenges the very principles that climate activists advocate for, creating a complex paradox. The reality of these emissions serves as a reminder of the urgent need for more sustainable travel options. 4. Advocacy for offsetting emissions. To counterbalance the environmental impact of their travel, some climate activists advocate for carbon offset programs. These initiatives involve investing in projects that aim to reduce carbon emissions, such as reforestation and renewable energy developments. By contributing financially to these efforts, activists attempt to mitigate the carbon footprint of their private jet travel. Carbon offsetting is seen as a way to take responsibility for emissions while continuing to fulfill their advocacy roles. However, this approach is not without its critics, who argue that offsets are merely a band-aid solution to a larger problem. Despite this, many activists view offsets as a step in the right direction, acknowledging the environmental cost while striving for a balance between necessity and responsibility. 5. The symbolism problem. Private jets are often seen as symbols of luxury and excess, which can undermine the credibility of climate activists' messages. The image of an activist disembarking from a private jet can be jarring, creating a perception of elitism that conflicts with their calls for sustainability and equality. This symbolism problem poses a significant challenge for activists, as public perception plays a crucial role in the effectiveness of their advocacy. The optics of private jet travel can overshadow their efforts, leading to skepticism and distrust among the public. To maintain credibility, activists must navigate the delicate balance between necessity and public perception, ensuring that their actions align with their message. 6. Limited alternatives for certain destinations. In some cases, the use of private jets is driven by the limited alternatives available for reaching certain destinations. Remote or urgent locations may not be easily accessible by commercial flights, making private aviation a practical option. For instance, if an activist needs to reach a remote area affected by climate change to document and raise awareness, private jets offer the flexibility and speed required. Additionally, when time is of the essence, such as attending last-minute meetings or urgent events, private jets provide a viable solution. While commercial flights may not offer direct or timely routes, private aviation bridges the gap, ensuring that activists can be present where they are most needed. 7. Media attention and influence. High-profile climate activists often rely on private jets to appear at global events that draw significant media attention. By attending these high-profile gatherings, they can amplify their cause and reach a wider audience. Media coverage of their presence at these events can spark discussions and raise awareness about the climate crisis. The use of private jets enables activists to be at the forefront of global discussions, ensuring that their message is heard loud and clear. The influence they wield through media attention can drive policy changes and mobilize public support for climate action. However, this strategy is not without its challenges, as the optics of private jet travel can sometimes detract from the message they aim to promote. 8. Private jet use isn't unique to activists. It is important to note that the use of private jets is not unique to climate activists. Politicians, business leaders, and celebrities also rely heavily on private aviation for their travel needs. This broader trend raises questions about inequality in emissions and the responsibility of individuals in positions of influence. The focus on activists' travel choices highlights the need for a wider conversation about sustainable practices across various sectors. While activists face scrutiny for their travel decisions, it is crucial to hold all individuals in positions of power accountable for their environmental impact. The conversation around private jet use serves as a reminder of the broader systemic changes needed to address climate change. 9. Calls for accountability. Public pressure is mounting on climate activists to adopt greener travel options and set an example for others to follow. As advocates for environmental sustainability, they are expected to lead by example and demonstrate a commitment to reducing their carbon footprint. The growing demand for accountability has led to calls for activists to explore alternative modes of transport, such as trains or commercial flights, wherever feasible. Activists are encouraged to be transparent about their travel choices and take proactive steps to minimize their environmental impact. By doing so, they can reinforce their credibility and strengthen their message of sustainability and climate action. 10. Emerging green aviation technologies. In response to the environmental impact of private jet travel, some climate activists advocate for the development and adoption of greener aviation technologies. Innovations such as electric or biofuel-powered planes offer the potential to significantly reduce the carbon footprint of private aviation. These technologies are still in their infancy, but they represent a promising step towards more sustainable travel options. Activists who support these advancements aim to pave the way for a future where private aviation can align with environmental goals. The pursuit of green aviation technologies reflects a commitment to finding long-term solutions that balance the need for mobility with the imperative of reducing emissions.